Hey guys, if you want to get your old table saw from looking like this to looking like this, well, keep watching because I'm going to show you how I go about doing it. So for years I've been dying to get my hands on a large shop size saw like this. The problem is trying to find one of these in a store in stock is nearly impossible, and they're pretty expensive when they're brand new. So I decided to buy something used. I picked this up for about $400 on Facebook Marketplace from somewhere not too far away. This is a great saw. It's got a big 36-inch wide rip capacity, and it's in really good shape. Being that it's this big, the other feature that I liked about this saw was with the push of a pedal, this thing instantly goes up on casters and I could push it out of the way when I'm not using it. The only problem this saw had was the entire surface was covered with rust. It is just surface rust. I knew it was something I was going to have to take care of. The guy I bought it from didn't think it was a big deal, but anybody who works and doing custom woodwork knows that the rust on this surface can prevent the woodwork from sliding real nice, and it also leaves marks on your woodwork. So I knew I had to clean it up, and this is how I'm going to try and do it. So I started doing a little bit of research to see what other guys were using to clean up their saws. A lot of videos had guys using like a PB Blaster or WD-40, hosing it down and scrubbing it. To me, this seems a little messy. An oily product like this just seems like it's just going everywhere. Other videos showed a lot of guys using, sandpaper and aggressively sanding off all the rust. To me, that didn't seem like the right method that I wanted to use. These saws have a natural mill finish to them from the factory, and I kind of wanted to just restore that and keep it the way it was. So what I'm going to be using is a pretty everyday product, CLR, which breaks up rust. I'm going to be combining that with some Scotch-Brite pads. I've got some really aggressive ones here and some everyday ones, so I'm going to kind of work my way around and see which ones work best. I'm going to be using a palm sander here, not an orbital style, but just a regular vibrating palm sander, because I kind of want to keep all this product right here on the saw. I don't want it flinging around everywhere. And to clean it up, you could be using mineral spirits. I happen to have acetone here. You're going to want to have a lot of shop towels. You're going to use some gloves. And when you're done with this, in order to protect this saw and to keep it from getting rusted again, the most important step here is to protect it. And in order to do that, you got to use a paste wax. So let's get started. A couple of things you're going to want to start by doing is removing your blade insert. You don't want to be sanding that down. And also you're going to want to get your fence out of the way. Now, I put my CLR in a spray bottle like this, makes it easier to apply. What I'm going to end up doing is spraying down the surface a little bit, not overly aggressive, and I'm going to let it sit, let it do its work for just a little bit before I start hitting it with the Scotch-Brite pads. I'm also going to only work on one section at a time so that the product isn't sitting there drying out. Okay, I let it sit here for about 5 minutes. Now I'm going to just basically put this palm sander down on top of this, and I'm going to just move it around in nice even strokes and try and just kind of remove this rust. Let's give it a wipe and see what that first pass looks like. Oh So that right there is about under a minute of hitting it with the Scotch-Brite pad. I'm going to change out the pad, put a fresh one on there, and hit it one more time and see what it looks like. So this time I'm not going to spray it as much because at this point most of the rust is gone. Now I just want the Scotch-Brite pad itself to do the work to clean up the surface. As far as I'm concerned, that's actually not too bad for about 5 minutes worth of work. Okay, now I'm just going to clean it up here with a little bit of acetone just to get off any of that remaining cleaner or residue that's on there. Again, you could be using a mineral spirits or denatured alcohol, anything that'll dry fast and not leave any residue. So there you can see what's still left on the surface. I'm probably going to hit it again one more time with a cleaner like this before I go ahead and wax it. Okay, so basically I'm just going to follow those same steps section by section here and get it cleaned up. Alright, so what I'm going to end up using here is a paste wax here. I've got an SC Johnson paste wax. I know Minwax also makes a version of this. And you're basically going to be putting this on as if you were waxing your car. Give it a good coating. Rub it in real good. Let it dry to a haze. And then just give it a good buff. Alright, now that the wax is hazed up a little bit, I'm just going to give it a quick buff. So there you go, guys. In about an hour's worth of time, I think this came out pretty good. I didn't have to use a lot of strong chemicals or a lot of abrasive sandpaper, basically just that CLR and some Scotch-Brite pads and a lot of elbow grease. I think it came out pretty good. The surface rust is gone, and don't forget that final step of putting that paste wax down to protect it to keep it from rusting up again. Now my woodwork is going to slide on this real easily, and it's not going to get all marked up from that rust. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video will help you restore your cast iron top. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that subscribe button.